morning check-in with you guys. Give a little update just to see how you're doing. Pete Hegseth just finished talking, so we're going to listen a little bit to what Pete Hegseth had to say. But from what I'm hearing, he said there's more bombs to come. Today is going to be the biggest bomb day, more bombs continuing. Also declined to comment about the new supreme leader. They say he was wounded by the enemy, though, the new leader, the son, supreme leader. So we're going to listen to what they had to say. I hope you guys are doing good. And I want to start the morning with Iran, because I'm kind of like a little Iran'd out a little bit. So much crap going on with Iran, but I figured I haven't done a morning stream in a couple days, I think. So we'll just do a little check-in, see how you guys are doing. I guess we'll just leave it like this. Yeah, let's see. What Hegseth had to say this morning. Hope you guys are good, man. I'll be around today. So whatever pops off, breaking news, something besides this, I'll definitely jump on, you know?
Well, to our fellow Americans, brave warriors, and steadfast allies, good morning. You know, as someone who led soldiers in the streets of Baghdad and Samarra, Iraq, and who trained counterinsurgents in Kabul, Afghanistan, and who still carries the weight of brothers lost to Iranian terrorist proxies, many backed by the same Iranian regime we're confronting now.
Like, what are we hearing? What is that?
This fight, Operation Epic Fury, it hits home. Our generation understands this fight. For 47 years, these barbaric savages in the Iranian regime have murdered our brothers in arms, my guys, your guys, our guys. Through their terrorist proxies and cowardly attacks, now they race toward a nuclear bomb to hold the world hostage. The Iranians have targeted and killed thousands of my American brothers. That race to a nuclear bomb, President Trump will never allow it. Not now, not ever, not on our watch. The mullahs are desperate and scrambling. Like the terrorist cowards they are, they fire missiles from schools and hospitals, deliberately targeting innocents, because they know their military is being systematically degraded and annihilated. Iran's neighbors, and in some cases, former allies in the Gulf, they've abandoned them. And their proxies, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and Hamas, either broken, ineffective, or on the sidelines. Iran stands alone, and they are badly losing. On day 10 of Operation Epic Fury, we are winning with an overwhelming and unrelenting focus on our objectives, which are the same as the day I gave my first briefing here on Operation Epic Fury. They're straightforward, and we are executing them with ruthless precision. One, destroy their missile stockpiles, their missile launchers, and their defense industrial base. Missiles and their ability to make them. Two, destroy their navy. And three, permanently deny Iran nuclear weapons forever. It's a laser-focused, maximum authority mission delivered with overwhelming and unrelenting precision. No hesitation, no half measures. As President Trump declared yesterday, we're crushing the enemy in an overwhelming display of technical skill and military force. We will not relent until the enemy is totally and decisively defeated. But we do so on our timeline and at our choosing. For example, today will be yet again our most intense day of strikes inside Iran. The most fighters, the most bombers, the most strikes. Intelligence more refined and better than ever. So that's on one hand. On the other hand, The last 24 hours have seen Iran fire the lowest number of missiles they've been capable of firing yet. Just the bifurcation, just the trend lines that we talked about on our first briefing. You see, this is not 2003. This is not endless nation building under those types of quagmires we saw under Bush or Obama. It's not even close. Our generation of soldier will not let that happen again, and nor will this president, who very clearly ran against those kinds of never-ending, nebulously scoped missions. Those days are dead. Instead, we're winning decisively with brutal efficiency, total air dominance, and an unbreakable will to accomplish the president's objectives on our timeline. We stay locked on the target because here at the Department of War, that's our job. Now, the chairman and I, having just returned from Dover last night, our troops and their families and the enormous sacrifice that they make is certainly heavy on my mind. So I'll close with scripture, drawing strength from Psalm 144. Blessed be the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle. He is my loving God and my fortress, my stronghold and my deliverer, my shield, in whom I take refuge. May the Lord grant unyielding strength and refuge to our warriors, unbreakable protection to them and our homeland, and total victory over those who seek to harm them. And amen. God bless our troops and this mission. Mr. Chairman, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. I'm here today to continue the updates to the American people and to those in the room on Operation Epic Fury. First, let me start with honoring our fallen. As the Secretary said, on Saturday and again last night at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware, our nation's leaders honored our returning fallen as they arrived home for their final time. Last week, I shared a few of the names, and today I want to share the rest. Major Jeffrey O'Brien and Chief Warrant Officer 3 Robert Marzan were the final two fallen to return home and members of the U.S. Army Reserve's 103rd Sustainment Command out of Des Moines, Iowa. Last night, as the news has been reporting, we honored the return of Staff Sergeant Benjamin Pennington of the U.S. Army's 1st Space Brigade from Fort Carson, Colorado. When I met Ben's family last night, his mom, his dad, and his sister, they showed me a picture, a drawing that Ben had made when he was in kindergarten. It was clear all the way back then that Ben wanted to do one thing in his life, and he wanted to serve his country and be a soldier. And to the Penningtons, just know how Ben was absolutely a great one. And finally, Major Sorfleet Davies, who returned home this weekend after sadly passing away from a medical condition while on duty in Kuwait. We welcome him home as well and mourn with his family. To the families and the families of all of our fallen, we share in your profound grief. The Joint Force remains eternally grateful for your sacrifice and the gift of a great example that your service members have given all of us. I want you to know that their names will never be forgotten, and you and your family are part of our Joint Force family forever. Let me talk a little bit about the progress thus far, acknowledging that Admiral Cooper will likely continue to give updates from CENTCOM. As the Secretary said, we're in the 10th, moving into the 11th day of Operation Epic Fury. The Joint Force remains focused on 3 military objectives: continue to destroy Iranian ballistic missiles and drone capability in order to prevent attacks on the U.S. and others throughout the region. And this means attacking launch sites, command and control nodes, stockpiles before they can threaten our personnel, our facilities, and our partners. Second, we continue to strike the Iranian Navy and their capabilities in order to do things like sustain movement through the Straits of Hormuz. And third, we continue to start working on and going deeper into Iran's military and industrial base in order to prevent the regime from being able to attack Americans, our interests, and our partners for years to come and project power outside their borders. This means servicing production facilities, research and development sites, and infrastructure. Let me turn to the map. We're going to try digital today to prevent laser injury. Since our last update, CENTCOM continues to make progress across the southern flank. To date, they've struck more than 5,000 targets. U.S. Strategic Command bombers recently dropped dozens of 2,000-pound GPS penetrating weapons on deeply buried missile launchers across the southern flank. We also have struck several one-way drone factories to get at the heart of their autonomous capability. And of course, alongside our regional partners along the southern flank, continue to execute intercepts against one-way attack drones using fighters and attack helicopters. Our strikes mean we've made significant progress in reducing the number of missile and drone attacks out of Iran. Ballistic missile attacks continue to trend downward, 90% from where they've started, and one-way attack drones have decreased 83% since the beginning of the operation. A testament to our air defenders and our air defense systems, and as I said, our partners in the region continue to do great work as well. Second, we're making substantial progress towards destroying the Navy. In the first 10 days of the conflict, we're more than 50 Iranian naval ships into the campaign using a combination of artillery, fighters, bombers, and sea-launched missiles. As Admiral Cooper noted last Thursday, we struck and sank an Iranian drone carrier ship, and U.S. CENTCOM continues today to hunt and strike mine-laying vessels and mine storage facilities. This work will continue. Third, against our objectives, we've begun to target Iran's military and industrial complex, again, focusing on centers of gravity to get upstream of the shooters out in the field in order to deny them the ability to continue to generate those one-way attack drones. Let me spend a minute talking about the joint force. Across the area of responsibility, this is gritty and tireless work, and I cannot begin to explain how incredibly proud I am of the extraordinary courage, tenacity, and grit and professionalism within the joint force. Last time I had a chance to talk about the Army's incredible logisticians who are out there sustaining the fight. Today I want to highlight a few groups of sailors. First, I want to thank the men and women of the Ford Carrier Strike Group and their families, and let all of them know how grateful I am for their leadership and service. The crews on board this strike group have already been endured months at sea only to get their deployment extended. These exceptional Americans, rogered up, all supported by their families, continue to stand the watch, taking the fight to the enemy over and over again, night after night. Aboard ships like the USS Ford and the Abraham Lincoln are a special group of sailors I want to highlight today. These are the men and women, the sailors up on the roof running operations on the flight deck. With an average age of the early 20s, these are the unsung heroes of naval aviation. These young sailors, known for wearing yellow shirts, are in charge of the catapults, taxiing jets around on the flight deck, shooting jets off the front end, and recovering jets off the back end. They are literally involved with every single movement on the roof on an aircraft carrier. They are the last ones that a naval aviator sees before getting shot off the front end, and the first one that a naval aviator sees after safely trapping on the back end. And just for a minute, imagine you're standing on that aircraft carrier flight deck. There's 30 knots of wind in your face. The deck is slippery, covered in grease. It's noisy. There are propellers spinning. There's jet blast everywhere. The helicopters are running. Your head is on a swivel, and you're trying to direct a multi-million-dollar fighter into a 1-foot square box so that those naval aviators can be shot off into the black of night to go do America's work. Those jets are fully loaded with missiles and bombs, and they are a world-class team combined with the naval aviation. and the aviators in those jets. This beautiful symphony of American spirit is the definition of perfectly organized chaos. And these crews do it every single time the carrier is at work. Oh, by the way, in the middle of the night and oftentimes in the pouring rain. These are dedicated young people who take the road less traveled to serve their great nation, doing the deeds that we need them to do. America's enlisted force is the pride of every nation's military, certainly ours, and the envy of every other one as well. Each and every one of them out there across the joint force are extraordinary, and in particular today I want to highlight the yellow shirts. Ladies and gentlemen, our work continues. It'll continue to be difficult. I ask every American to keep our deployed force and their families in our thoughts. Combat deployments can be tough on the force and the families, and it's important that we continue to remember that. I remain deeply humbled by the 2.8 million members of the Joint Force, and I'll end where I started, and that's remembering our fallen and their families whose sacrifice will be felt forever. And with that, I'll take some questions with the Secretary.
A beautiful symphony of American spirit. Well said, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, sir.
And I will just note that no other country in the world is capable of executing what the chairman just described, day after day, night after night, unrelenting. Well said. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Alexandra Ingersoll, One America News. You talked, Mr. Secretary, you talked at the conference in Florida on Thursday that there was a 90% missile capabilities degradation and 83% drone degradation, and I know the chairman just repeated those numbers. We've seen the most amount of fighting these past 5 days. Is there any update to those percentages? And also, are you able to give any quantification of degradation to the enemy's nuclear capabilities yet?
What those numbers represent is a persistent low ability to respond, which is what we're looking for, right? It's if the enemy can simply wait and then project power, that's problematic. And we've seen some spurts here or there, but ultimately the trend lines, if you look at the charts that we look at every day, have gone like this down to a flat. It doesn't mean they won't be able to project. It doesn't mean our air defenders still don't have to defend. They do, but that is strong evidence of degradation, along with the battle damage assessment that the Joint Staff does, which takes time. You've got to look at imagery and recognize whether something's been simply degraded or it's been destroyed, or whether an underground facility has been collapsed or completely obliterated. So there's differences in how you evaluate that, but the numbers staying that low is a demonstration of the efficacy for sure. Yeah, right here.
Thanks, Mr. Secretary. There's been reports that the new leader of Iran has been wounded. Do you know if this is true and what his condition is? And then another one, President Trump said he had a really good call with President Putin yesterday. Will Russia be aiding us in this conflict, and can you share anything on that?
Well, the president,
Russia aiding us?
As I've said before, maintains strong relationships with world leaders, which creates opportunities and options for us in very dynamic ways. So the president said it was a good call. I was not on it, but those that were said it was a strong call, reaffirming hopefully the opportunity for some peace in Russia, Ukraine, and also a recognition that as it pertains to this conflict, they should not be involved. The first question was
on the new leader of Iran. There's reports that he's been wounded.
Oh, the new leader of Iran. He would be wise to heed the words of our president, which is to not pursue nuclear weapons and come out and state as such. As far as his status, that's not something I can comment on right now.
So he can be there. They say that the new guy is worse than his dad. And that the CIA, there was some woman in the CIA intelligence put out that he was impotent for a couple of months. I forgot what country he went to go get help. And so at CIA intelligence, I think it was CIA intelligence or one of the U.S. intelligences, they went and put out, there was a woman there that thought it would be a good idea to try to embarrass him in front of everybody and stuff. So they released that shit.
Yeah, right here. Correct.
Mr. Secretary, Eric Schmidt with the New York Times. A question for you first. Last week you talked about this being the beginnings of an air campaign that could last 3 to 8 weeks. Can you give us your assessment on where we are now? And Mr. Chairman, in any conflict, the enemy or the adversary adapts to the tactics it faces. Can you talk about the most challenging adaptation the Iranian military has made to the U.S. military? What challenges are you facing most right now? Thank you.
I appreciate the question. Where we are is in a very strong place, giving the President of the United States maximum options. And from the beginning, from this podium, we haven't stated how long it will take. Our will is endless. Ultimately, the President gets to determine the end state of those objectives, right? But what he's said continually, and I want the American people to understand, is this is not endless. It's not protracted. We're not allowing mission creep. The President has set a very specific mission to accomplish, and our job is to unrelentingly deliver that. Now, he gets to control the throttle. He's the one deciding, he's the one elected on behalf of the American people when we're achieving those particular objectives. And so it's not for me to posit whether it's the beginning, the middle, or the end. That's his, and he'll continue to communicate that. What we serve him as is we give him updates on a daily basis of exactly where we are so he can make that determination on the throttle. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for the question on adaptation. As you're right, no plan survives first contact with the enemy or Murphy. They're adapting, as are we. Of course, we have very entrepreneurial warfighters out there. I'd rather not, for operational security reasons, tell them what's working. So I'm going to not answer that question based on that. But we are watching what they're doing, and we are adapting faster than they are.
Are they more formidable than you anticipated, General?
I think they're fighting, and I respect that, but I don't think they're more formidable than what we thought.
Secretary Hegseth, thank you. Jordan Conrad's from the Gateway Pundit. Axios reported, citing U.S. and Israeli sources, that the U.S. was not happy with strikes on 30 fuel depots in Iran. While this is anonymous sourcing, it seems kind of congruent with what President Trump said yesterday, that there's certain spots they don't want to hit relating to energy infrastructure that would take a long time to rebuild. And whether this reporting is true or not, what's your message to Americans, those who supported the president and those who aren't really in favor of this war and who worry that Israel might be taking advantage of the U.S.'s backing? And then for Mr. Chairman, for you, I wanted to ask, when you say that we're moving inland, what capabilities does Iran have to shoot down jets over their land? And would that trigger some kind of rescue operation that could risk a bigger ground operation?
Well, I would just state by saying Israel's been a really strong partner in this effort. Where they have different objectives, they've pursued them. Ultimately, we've stayed focused on ours. But what Iran has felt is the power of the world's two most powerful air forces. In that particular case, those weren't our strikes or that objective, or that wasn't necessarily our objective. But the president has made it clear to those concerns that we're not getting pulled in any direction. We're leading. The president is leading. He's determining where we want to go, what the outcome will be, what the end state is, with a very keen eye. And I understand those concerns because I've heard from a lot of people who I went through 20 years of those wars myself. Worried about getting dragged in, worried about mission creep, worried about nation building or democracy expansion. That's never the perspective the president has pursued on this. Just because previous presidents and previous secretaries have decided to just pour more resources and more people in toward some unguided end state, doesn't mean that's the way the world needs to look today. In fact, the American people voted for a different approach. But what the president also stated from the beginning was Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. And it's one thing to say it. It's easy to say. Anybody can say that. I mean, Barack Obama said that. But to do something about it takes courage and resolve. But in that courage and in that resolve, you can also be very scoped in what you're trying to execute to ensure that the sacrifice of Americans, American treasure, American lives, all of those properly meet the objective that you're trying to accomplish. And certainly, as someone I talked out front about what the Iranians have done to our generation, yes, we're clear-eyed about it. But my job is to keep it scoped, given the directive of the president to accomplish the mission.
Thank you for the question. Most of their higher-end surface-to-air missile systems are not factors at this point in time. We're able to move around fighters that are moving deeper with relative impunity. Always some risk out there. I don't want to say that there isn't, and we'll always maintain and retain capability of doing search and rescue type of things. But I don't want to get into the details. But thank you for the question.
Chile.
Thanks, Mr. Secretary. President Trump told our team on the ground early this morning that the thing that has surprised him the most during the course of this operation so far has been the Iranian regime attacking countries that are not attacking them. I'm curious if that surprised you as well. And General, curious if you are open to the possibility of escorting vessels through the Strait of Hormuz, and if you could describe some of the challenges of doing so.
Big mistake by the Iranian regime to start targeting its neighbors right away, exposing who they are and what they're all about, indiscriminate targeting, flailing recklessly at the beginning. I can't say that we anticipated necessarily that's exactly how they would react, but we knew it was a possibility. And I think it was a demonstration of the desperation of that regime then and that regime now, that they still think their pathway out is to try to alienate their Arab partners even more, who've instead decided to come to us and have been willing to go on the offense, have been giving us access, spacing, and overflight in a new partnership that will continue to remake the region the way that President Trump did with the Abraham Accords. So you're pushing those countries in our direction to support this effort, further alienating Iran. And I think it's worth underscoring. I see in the media banners that say, war expanding or war spread. It's actually the opposite. It's actually quite contained, and more of those countries are coming on side, recognizing that you can't live under a conventional umbrella with nuclear ambitions with a radical regime like that. Again, properly scoping the objectives in the process. And then you want to talk about the Strait?
Sure. On the potential, if tasked to escort, we'll look at the range of options to set the military conditions to be able to do that. And then, like we always do with every potential mission, come to the Secretary and the President with both what are the resources required, what is the command and control required, and what are the risks, and how do we mitigate those risks. So we're looking at a range of options there, and we'll figure out how to solve problems as they come to us.
But I would reiterate also, to add to what the chairman said, the truth the President posted last night about that, saying if Iran does anything to stop the flow of oil within the Strait of Hormuz, they will be hit by the United States of America 20 times harder than they have been hit thus far.
Well, how would they do that if you say you wiped out their the whole Navy? They can't. They're 90% wiped from shooting missiles and stuff. 80 and 90%. How would they do that anyway?
He goes on to say death,
maybe
fire,
on the ground, rock RPGs from the ground to the boats or something?
Fury will rain upon them. You've seen the truth and read it, but he takes very seriously the condition of that straits. We have capabilities that no other nation on earth has, and we're certainly working with our energy partners across the administration to control for that. That's part of that scoping of this. The world needs to understand this doesn't have, this isn't intended to be, nor is it something that will expand. We know exactly what we're attempting to achieve here, scoped properly, and the American people can count on that for sure.
Thank you so much, Secretary Hegseth. President Trump has long said that he wants to minimize the loss of life in war, which wherever it occurs in whatever country, which so many people obviously appreciate. Can you detail the specific measures the Pentagon is taking to minimize civilian casualties and strikes inside Iran? And secondarily, is the Pentagon prioritizing replenishment of precision-guided munitions, long-range strike weapons, or air defense interceptors? And can you share any details on which systems are being prioritized?
Yeah, seeing it from the inside every single day, including this, no nation takes more precautions to ensure there's never targeting of civilians than the United States of America. From the boat strikes in the Caribbean, where every single strike is assessed to this campaign here, no nation in the history of warfare has ever attempted in every way possible to avoid civilian casualties. And frankly, that's a point that just isn't appreciated enough. Where things happen that need to be investigated, we will investigate to the question shouted in the back. That it's not, open source is not the place to determine what did or did not happen. We take things very, very seriously and investigate them thoroughly, which takes time, and which is why it does take time. But ultimately, unlike Iran, who targets civilians indiscriminately, who we've seen in the intel moving rocket launchers into civilian neighborhoods, near schools, near hospitals, to try to prevent our ability to strike. That's how they operate. And then they set the targeting of drones and missiles toward civilian targets, hospitals, hotels, airports. CENTCOM's been very good about putting that information out. That's how terrorist regimes fight. They target civilians. We do not, and I can tell you this administration and this Pentagon focuses on that very closely.
Does it have Tomahawk missiles?
Does that mean you will hold someone accountable if it turns out that that was a US
this morning
munition
the Iranian government is saying a lot. They continue to say they're prepared for a long war. If that's the case, what could you tell the American people as far as the steps the Department of War is taking to make sure our troops have the protection and the resources they need as the mission continues?
I think there's one thing I can sleep quietly at night knowing is that we're giving every resource humanly possible to our troops on the front lines to ensure they're protected. In fact, as I said in that first press briefing, even before we set the offense, we set the defense. We made sure we had the ability to defend, and then we moved as many Americans off the bases and into other places as possible. So as this progresses, the chairman, or the question was asked of the chairman about how the enemy adapts. Well, of course, we adapt too in real time. And to watch our warriors iterate on air defense and interdiction on drones and missiles and how we get after it, it's incredible how they refine the tactics, bring in new assets to find different ways of getting at emerging technologies. So that is one of the things we're laser focused on every day. Yes, we're going on offense more effectively than any country in human history, but we're also ensuring that in every way possible we're defending the best Americans we have who wear our uniform, no doubt. Let's do one more.
Thanks, Secretary Hegseth. The president has indicated that maybe the operation will wrap up sooner than he thought it was going to. What's the plan once the U.S. stops military action? Will the U.S. play a role in the aftermath, or will they leave Iran to sort it out?
Ultimately, the aftermath is going to be in America's interests, our interests. We won't live under a nuclear blackmail scenario of conventional missiles that can target our people, which is why the objectives have been scoped from the beginning. Missiles, missile production, a defense industrial base, Navy, all in service of ensuring they don't have nuclear power projection capabilities. That's what matters to President Trump. That's what matters to the American people. And ultimately, that's why we're so laser focused on ensuring those objectives and those objectives alone are met. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hegseth has spoken. More bombs coming. Bomb, 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 bombardier. What happened here? Oh, they hit the 12-hour mark, maybe? Is that what it is? We're still there. Hegseth has spoken. Let me show you something. This is kind of crazy. A resident filming explosions in garage. Iran calls out Trump. We trust you. Keep going until the regime is overthrown. Okay. I saw this lady this morning. It was kind of wild. She was saying that she supported the killing the kids in the school. She said it was worth it. Check this out. She said it was worth killing the kids.
There was that school in Iran that was bombed, 150 dead. But you see this all as worth it. I mean, you think we should go to the end?
Yes, it's worth it, and that's why we are here. We are gonna protest.
Even if it was not an Islamic regime missile, it was worth it.
Damn.
Very, very worth it.
You would support Donald Trump, for example, sending troops or sending more airstrikes to Iran?
Yeah, whatever Trump is doing, it is helping us, of course, 100%.
There was also a report today that he was considering sending troops to Iran, and you would support that?
Yes, I would support that, yes, because I believe he's doing the right thing.
Donald Trump has been looking at more options, airstrikes, but also sending troops to Iran. Would you guys be supporting that?
Yes, we will.
He's considering sending troops in as well. Is that something you'd support?
Actually, that's what we want.
Yeah. And I also see a lot of Israeli flags here. I mean, this is also to protect Israel from Iran as well, yes?
Exactly.
thank you to President Trump and Netanyahu for standing with people.
If you had Donald Trump's ear right now, you were in the Oval Office, private room, what would you tell him to do?
Please finish the job. Just finish it, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Honestly, I haven't been back to my country over 20 years. I'm not planning to go back. This is my country.
Wow, she said, F that country, F Iran. I'm from Iran, F Iran. I'm not going back, but yeah, finish the job.
No, America is my country.
All right.
And
damn.
I know this is the best for Americans and for Iranians in Iran.
You're not planning on going back to?
No.
Wow. Damn. Nah, hell no, I'm not going back. Well, I guess she's speaking from experience, I guess. Hell no, I'm not going back. Hell no. I guess that's it. I just want to do a little morning check-in to see how you guys are doing. Professor Jang. Apparently the Professor Jang and Nick Fuentes are beefing. They're not happy with each other. Something happened with them. All out war. Oh shoot, was that? I don't know. Hello? Yes. Okay. What time is it at? What time is it at? Okay.
Flying toward Gulf countries and toward Israel, their ability to attack these countries and U.S. forces in the region is being depleted. And the president told me that he was actually surprised when Iran launched these attacks against Gulf countries who were not attacking Iran. But it just speaks to how unstable the regime is and how unpredictable they are. And that is why the president is concerned about this new leader selection, Mustafa Khamenei, understanding that he is the son of his late father, the man who was killed in the opening strikes of Operation Epic Fury, and he's also considered a hardliner with close ties to the IRGC. We are
Tim Burchett just filled up the dually with diesel yesterday. I decided to do that instead of sending my daughter to school next year. But the reality is, I mean, they're ripping us off. Diesel is like the second cut they take off it when it comes out of the ground. I think it goes kerosene and diesel and then gasoline, and diesel is the most expensive. And I'm sure they can make some sort of, they'll bring out the economic experts, to cover themselves on that. Another thing that really ticks me off about it is that they've, when the price of oil, like they say, well, it's, this whatever happens overseas is causing this to happen. But then when you go to the hardware store or the auto parts store and you buy a quart of oil, guess what? The price hasn't gone up. But the price of the gasoline in the tank is going up, and that's gasoline that is probably months from it was in the ground, and then it was converted into gasoline at a refinery. So the whole thing is just ridiculous. It's greed, and eventually we're going to come to a point in technology, say coal, turning coal into oil and gasoline, as the Germans did during the Second World War. But guess what? The technology hasn't advanced since then.
Dudes, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. Good morning. Okay, getting bored of the same info. Any time for you to get on a rant? No rant today. No rant. Try to be positive and head out this morning. Just a morning check-in. That's all we're doing. Morning check-in. I agree though with this guy, the oil gas bullshit. I think it's kind of BS too, but he got a lot of criticism because people were saying, oh, he didn't have a problem before with the other presidents, but now it's like, oh, it's a scam now. But it's true though. Why is there instant effect on the fuel stuff? They have all these reserves. They have so many reserves. Why is there an instant change? It's all money screwing people over. Russia's top diplomat speaks to his Iranian counterpart. Russia's foreign minister Sergei Lavrov had a call on Tuesday with his Iranian counterpart to discuss the evolving situation and reaffirm Moscow's hope for political diplomatic settlement. China says 10,000 citizens have returned. Wow. Israel kills 3 Palestinians in Gaza. Oh, shit. Ugh. Well, I guess we'll see, man. I guess we'll see. We'll guess we'll see the Atayala replaced with the Atayala, replaced with his son. Or Ayatollah. Khomeini replaced with Khomeini. Or Khamenei. Bad replaced with worse. What are they going to do? Professor John exposes Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes didn't like that. Oh, no.
Yesterday I had a good call with Nick Fuentes, who we disagree upon a lot, but we understand that we're both goyim in this situation and there's a greater problem. I saw you.
Look.
Oh,
sorry, but Nick Fuentes clearly has a political agenda. Oh. The guy's a smart guy, but some of his conclusions are clearly manufactured.
Oh.
He's not working from first principles. He's not working, I think, he's a pretty smart guy, and some of the things he says, some of the things he says is like, someone's paying you to say that. I don't know, okay, but I'm saying something going on with Nick.
Let's say you're fair.
I know him very well as one of my good friends. I've never got that. I've never made that analysis, but again, that's your interpretation. But yeah, overall, there's a bigger fight. If he wants to put America first can't happen without getting the Israel lives.
Professor, don't mess with the professor. Nick was not too happy about that. He was not pleased with the Professor X. I saw that last night. Professor X.
So Professor Jang called me
Happy
out.
to be
Professor
here, and I love
Ching
you,
Chong
Mel.
Chang.
Heart exclamation emoji.
Thank you for the membership, Blue Bella.
So Professor Jang called me out. Professor Ching Chong
Professor
Chang.
X.
What the fuck is that? This Chinese communist spy from Canada, this fake professor, has called me out. Did you see this? I did Sneako's stream on Saturday, and he asked me what I thought of the YouTube sensation Professor Jang. And I said, he's okay, but he's getting a lot of things wrong. He's getting a lot of things wrong. He is one of these Duganists that is pushing the Khazarian mafia theory, which exculpates the Jews for their guilt in killing God, among other things. I said, so he's okay, but he just gets things wrong. And I specifically said, I don't agree with that. And some of his doomsday end times prophecy stuff, that's wrong too. And it just seems to be a lot of conspiracy slop. He is one of these people that believes that Trump went to war with Iran so that he could run for a third term and stop elections from happening.
So the drama between them continues, I guess. I see anything else? I saw this last night and I kind of rolled my eyes. We need to be prepared for cyber attack from Iran. I guess they're giving like a warning.
Iran has previously targeted U.S. banks, infrastructure, and then, of course, different networks run by the U.S. government. We've all seen again and again phishing campaigns.
Phishing campaigns. I feel like that's some grandma type of shit, some grandma hacks. We're still talking about phishing? Phishing emails, yo? Grandma hacks, yo. What?
Like with geopolitical crisis, everyone takes advantage at this time, and just don't be.
I mean, it still works, I guess, but
someone they take advantage of. You don't want to be the calculus or the person who opened the door.
There's like some fear shit too. You could be the one that opens the door to Iran and to the U.S. Well, newsflash, they've leaked out all of our information multiple times. Facebook just happens to have all these breaches, data breaches every couple of months. I think it's on purpose. I think they're selling our information on purpose. Information is worth a lot of money. So all these companies with these data breaches every couple of months, it's all bullshit. They have all our information out there all the time. You can't. What am I worried about? This Iranian. Having our information is out there already. On any given day, just type in data breach and you'll see stuff from 30 minutes ago, an hour ago, 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago from all the companies that are constantly leaking our information out. Oh, it's just an accident. It's just a breach.
Crisis. Everyone takes advantage at this time, and just don't be someone they take advantage of. You don't want to be the calculus or the person who opened the door and let this foreign adversary into your place of work. You need to be part of the defense against these cyber attacks. So if you're working right now in the government, you're in the military, don't click any unfamiliar emails right now, right? Off limits. Don't open any unknown attachments. Anyone new is reaching out to you on LinkedIn right now, ignore the request.
I don't remember the last time I was like compromised, like password wise. Like this shit is so like old to me. I don't know. Maybe because a lot of my stuff is like double and triple authenticated. You got the authenticator password, and even then there's like some other thing that pops up, and so I don't even remember the last time. It's not even a thought in my head. Let alone some phishing scam thing. U.S. military aircraft keep landing at RAF Fairford in UK, a base often used by American bombers during major operations. Does this mean more strikes are coming? According to Pete Hegseth, yes. More planes landing, they say.
These are latest pictures there, US aircraft
landing on RAF Fairford in Gloucestershire. Of course, it's become one of the most strategically significant air bases in Europe, and it's the only base on the continent capable of hosting B-52s that we saw earlier today. But this is just the latest scene there from RAF Fairford.
Bringing in the bombers. I've noticed less and less people watching the live feed though. These feeds. I think maybe people are getting a little tired of it. You know, the same. It's just overview sitting there for hours and hours a day. Some people. The Epstein files, man. This is the professor.
The goal is to kill as many people as possible.
Oh,
because the world can't sustain 8 billion people. So you're trying to
not the professor.
As many conflicts as possible to reduce the population so that the population will be easier to govern, to create compliance places. But Julian Assange, he said something really important. What he told us is this: the point is not to have successful wars. The point is to have never-ending wars, so that a military-industrial complex, this transnational security system, can steal from the American taxpayer. Okay? So what you need to understand is this: America, this nation state, it's just a host. What matters is the parasite. What matters are the secret societies.
Professor.
Hey! Oh my goodness, Mr. President, what a pleasure.
You know, the pleasure's all mine.
Please, come on in.
Let's get this show on the road. So everybody's out back.
No, I only invited one person, and you know them already.
Oh, Michelle!
You didn't think you could get rid of me that easily, did you?
Kamala, how are you?
Very.
Wow.
It's so wonderful to see you.
You're getting back into the running, so I thought maybe our two-term president could give you a little bit of practice today.
I am humbled and honored to help you out.
Mama always said that I fell out of a coconut
No,
tree.
no. None of that.
On what can be. We can become unburdened by what has been.
Can I go now? Or?
No, don't leave yet, Barack. Let's play Monopoly.
Yeah, what's she drinking over there? What's she sipping on?
I think you guys did a great job, and Kalshi already has you guys projected to sweep the midterms.
Yes, we can.
Don't you know it, baby?
Let's go.
Oh my gosh. I tweeted out yesterday. I like to troll a lot, especially on X. I don't really like X is like whatever to me. It's just like I'm just throwing thoughts out there like vomit sometimes. That can get you in trouble sometimes because people take it for real. But I tweeted out yesterday. I said Kamala would know what to do in times like these. Yo, some people are like, what? Like some people are like losing their minds. Every now and then I just tweet some shit out like that and let them go crazy. I disappear. I let the fucking tweets go crazy. I tweet it and I walk away. I almost got ratioed on that shit. Trump pulled into a random gas station. Oh, this was yesterday for a red bus. Okay, he knows what he's doing then. At a random gas station for a red bus and taquinos to bring back to Air Force One. Sometimes those gas stations have some really good. I mean, I think personally I know better places than a gas station for arepas or what do they call that? Can't think of it. Empanada. Some of those gas stations, they do have those ladies in there making the shit fresh. Something about a gas station I don't really trust, but I know some nice places around me that for a good price you get some really good fresh. Okay, Trump. Oh shit, Trump.
USA, 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 USA.
Is this old or new? I don't know. Venezuela. That actually looks like a pretty good place. That's a gas station? Looks like a restaurant. Let's see. Okay. I mean, there's some places, I know like this Dominican place that it's like a grocery store, but it's a restaurant too inside. I wouldn't say random. Yeah, you're taking a chance if you just randomly pop up. This motherfucker showed up over here. Get him out of here. Putin suffers coughing fit and accidentally published video during Women's Day address. Damn, Putin over here's doing a Women's Day thing? Wow, I didn't think he cared about that.
Дорогие женщины,
Dear woman,
искренне
I'm truly delighted to congratulate you on International Women's
рад
Day.
поздравить вас с Международным
Wow, look at him, man. Putin?
женским днем.
I know Trump didn't do no Women's Day thing, did he?
Конечно,
Of course, it is very challenging to juggle everything to impress your beauty and charm while simultaneously being hard-working, determined, and resilient. This has to be fake. This can't be real.
очень непросто уметь успевать все, поражать своей красотой и обаянием, и вместе с тем трудолюбием, целеустремленностью, выдержкой.
You got a sweet side to him.
Но у вас
But you manage it.
это получается.
Happy International Women's Day.
С Международным женским днем.
Oh shit, what's going on?
Знаете, давайте-ка я
The
еще раз.
poison? They gave him the Havana shit? You know, let me say it again because I had to tickle my throat. Or they just bombed something, I guess.
Потому что
Damn. That boy got the Havana syndrome.
не закашлялся.
I almost coughed. I spoke a lot today.
Нет.
Oh shit. He got his ass.
Давайте.
Whoever edited and uploaded the video is probably getting killed. They're probably getting put in jail for the rest of
Дорогие
the...
женщины, искренне рад поздравить вас с Международным женским днем. Мы всегда отмечаем этот праздник самыми светлыми, теплыми чувствами.
Somebody messed up over there. Posted the unedited video. Woo! Somebody screwed up. The Pakistan sends its navy to escort tankers through the Gulf as Trump threatens Iran with death, fire, and fury if oil exports are cut off. No, I heard that's not true, Janobi. Thank you for the 5. Appreciate the super chat. I heard that's not true. I'll double check. It was some other guy. Somebody in Jersey. Somebody's house in Jersey got blown up or something. Let me look that thing up. I saw that yesterday too, and I was like, there's no way. Yes, there's no credible evidence that his brother was offed or his house blown. Yeah, no, it's not true. Damn, Iran's Security Council Secretary Ali Lajarni warns President Trump, watch out for himself, lest you be eliminated. Damn. Better be careful. This woman has set rules for all men in their life.
Let's talk about some of the rules that I...
Look, a man. It said Lindsey Graham don't even have kids. Talking about, what did he say? Something about he'd send his kids or something? Let me see, let me see what the phrase was. I don't even have kids. Talking about he'd send his kids or something. Well, I have cat. That counts. I'm going back to South Carolina and asking them to send their sons and daughters to the Middle East. Is that for real? No way.
Up to our allies, step up, get our air bases out of Spain. They're not reliable. Move all those airplanes to a country that would let us use them when we're threatened by a regime like Iran.
Thank you.
To our friends in Spain, man, you have lost your way. I don't want to do business with you anymore. I want our air bases out of Spain into a country that will let us use them. To our Arab friends, I've tried to help you construct a new Mideast. You need to up your game here. I can't go to South Carolina and say we're fighting and you won't publicly fight. What you're doing behind the scenes, that has to stop. The double dealing of the Arab world when it comes to this stuff needs to end. I go back to South Carolina, I'm asking them to send their sons and daughters over to the Mideast. What I want you to do in the Mideast to our friends in Saudi Arabia and other places, step forward and say, this is my fight too. I join America. I'm publicly involved in bringing this regime down. If you don't, you're making a great mistake and you're going to cut off the ability to have a better relationship with the United States. I say this as a friend.
As a friend, I'm telling you, send your kids. What kind of friend are you? Boys getting paid good money. This is so crazy too. I didn't realize this yesterday. Oh, another shit happened the other day in New York. They're saying that this guy's like a liberal, and he was telling people, I don't know what he was saying. He was standing up for these people, and then somebody chucks a bomb over his head.
You don't live in New York. You're coming to New York to tell people who belongs in New York and who doesn't belong in New York. We were born and raised in New York, and we want everyone here to stay in New York. You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else.
A bomb. Look at this shit. He used them as a prop to gain leverage to chuck this bomb into the crowd. Thank you, my friend. Ally. Whoosh, chucks this bomb into the crowd. That is crazy. That's so wild, man. Wow. Yeah, I guess just be careful and pay attention to your surroundings, because they're talking about supposedly yesterday sleeper cells and stuff. I'd just be kind of, I would have been living in fear, but I'd be just kind of cautious, kind of pay attention, just be aware of your surroundings, I guess. The top Iranian security official tells you, yeah, be careful not to get yourself eliminated. Damn. This is crazy, dude. Oh no. They caught Jake Lang slipping. Whoa. Out of control NASA satellite to crash back to Earth in just hours. Where's it going to hit? I haven't played that recently, T-Bag. I think I've played it a long time ago. I think. I'll check it out. A 1,300-pound NASA satellite is hurling back towards Earth and could make an uncontrolled plunge into the atmosphere after nearly 14 years in orbit. Scientists cannot predict where the debris may fall. Could be anywhere. The risk of anyone being harmed is extremely low. 1 in 4,200. Oh my gosh. So somebody said with any luck it will land in Mar-a-Lago. People are crazy in the comment section of that. I was watching this crazy story last night. Oh, I've never seen this. Political. It's like a minute long. Let's listen real quick. Short. The Trump thing, Oprah. Oh, it's really short.
I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Probably not.
You've said, though, that if you did run for president, you believe you'd win.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd win. I tell you what, I wouldn't go in to lose. I've never gone in to lose in my life.
If you pick me, you're going to pick a winner.
We let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade.
I want free trade, but I want it to be like, at least we break even, right? We do something.
If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies.
Japan, they send cars by the millions. They come off those boats.
Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke.
Why didn't we say we want 50% of your oil forever, or we're not letting you go back in?
Back in the day. New footage appears to show U.S. Tomahawk striking Iranian girls, killing 180. Operational trigger, sleeper cells. All right, I guess that's it. I just want to kind of pop in this morning. A morning check-in with you guys. I'll see what else happens today. I'll be around. I'll jump on if anything. I got to do a couple of Rumble shorts, trying to get the bonus for the month. The hell's going on? Oh, I'll be around though. If anything breaking pops off, I want to try to shift to some of the regular news too. Even though it seems like all the regular news has disappeared. It's like it's only this or Nancy. There's still stuff going on though, because somebody tried to shoot up one of Rihanna's houses. They did with like an assault rifle. Some crazy lady shot up Rihanna's house. Iran tells Trump, be careful not to be eliminated, and hits back at empty threats after U.S. president said he does not believe the new supreme leader can live in peace. I guess we'll have to see if they let those boats go through. I mean, I don't know how they would stop it. Supposedly, if their ships are taken out, and their missile capacity. Professor X. Sri Lanka hikes fuel prices by 8% amid rising global fuel prices and shrinking stocks due to panic buying. Drones hit the UAE as the country reports 2 new deaths. I thought they had no capacity to shoot anymore. What happened? Or barely any capacity. Kane reports, no request for tanker escorts through the Strait of Hormuz yet. Kane says the military is considering options to ensure the Strait of Hormuz is open for tanker traffic, but has not been asked to escort tankers to the narrow passage.
Rose emoji.
Oh, Ford, thank you so much. Thank you. They should at least offer them escorts. I think Trump was saying yesterday, the day before, oh, be brave and go ahead, just go through. No, I want to escort. If I had a ship carrier out there. Wow, Marco Rubio's 2028 presidential odds hit an new all-time high after Republican donors signal they prefer him over J.D. Vance. Marco Rubio. All right, guys. Take care. I'll catch you later. Bye. Bloop, 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 bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Be safe. Sleeper cells. Sleeper cells.